welcome back. It is Bones. And in this one, let's do another topic video. Now, once again, here we are taking a look at a new pre-order and release from McFarlane's DC Multiverse. Now, this time we will be taking a look at Kilowog and Rayner, a new Mega 2-pack from McFarlane. Now, we did get a teaser of this a couple of days ago, but now we do have the full reveal and the pre-orders up on Amazon.com. Now, in my opinion, we just got through with what I consider a sort of unjustified price increase with the Batpod and Catwoman set. Now, even though you could get the bundle and get a slightly better value if you were to go that route, but if you did happen to see the video that I did on that pre-order, I did say how I was lamenting the fact that I usually buy 2 of these, but with that elevated price, I actually just ended up ordering 1 set. Now, that does not necessarily mean that I will not be buying one later on, but it does actually mean that I am less likely to buy more than one upon the initial release, and that is merely because of that price increase. When before, I would have actually went ahead and ordered 2 straight away right off the bat. So McFarlane isn't actually just losing sales from me, but he's most definitely losing sales from other collectors that aren't as psycho as I am. So let's take a closer look at this release. Now, you do have a pretty nice and big Kilowog, and he does follow the textured theme that a lot of the recent lanterns have been following. Great texture and grain on this figure. Now, I know a lot of people actually prefer just a more clean costume with no detail, very reminiscent of the recently revealed Kilowog in the Superpowers line, that actually being an awesome addition to the Superpowers collection. But I actually prefer what really attracted me to McFarlane at the beginning of the DC Multiverse line, and there is a growing contingent that actually prefers this more detailed sculpt that McFarlane uses for his lantern figures. Now, the Kilowog actually looks pretty good, and aside from a lot of the paint choices, he still looks like a pretty good Kilowog mega figure with actually a really great looking head sculpt. And I was really anxious to see what this really looked like. And I think it was actually executed pretty well. Now, he actually comes with a pretty nice looking Warhammer construct, a very large lantern battery. And this is really awesome to see because we do know that mega figures don't usually come with a lot of accessories. Now, looking at the Rayner figure, it is a re-release of the gold label figure. Now, this is actually a little bit different from the standard release because this one has different forearms and shin guards that are a completely different sculpt. Another positive of this release is that the green that they use is actually more comic accurate. A lot of people really complained about the first release, and although it is more of a 90s look, the green came off being a little bit light, sort of a lime green, while this release actually goes back to that darker traditional lantern green from the actual pages of the comic books. This is actually really good for a lot of people that weren't able to get their hands on the gold label version, because actually right now it is going for crazy prices on the aftermarket. You're looking at close to 50 or even above $50 for one of those gold label Rayners. And for me, it is actually a better choice because this costume is actually really different from the Blackest Night version that we received, and also the blue McFarlane version that was an exclusive on the McFarlane Toys website. So, for those that missed out on that version of Kyle Rayner, and also for those that want a more comic accurate version, this is actually going to be a great set. Now, the accessories for the Kyle Rayner are actually pretty interesting. You do get an alternate hand, you get some body armor construct, two different swords, and of course, your lantern battery. So, in all actuality, McFarlane actually went all out with the accessories for this Kyle Rayner, at least more than he traditionally does. Now, after all of that, let's actually look at two of the biggest negatives about this release. Now, first of all, once again, a brand new Mega Fig, but paired up with just a re release of an old figure. Now, this is actually an old standard tactic that a lot of toy companies use to actually maximize profit on a brand new original sculpt, while at the same time using an old sculpt that they already have to make it a little cheaper for them to produce. Now, I know in a perfect world, this pack would actually be more like Kilowog paired up with Guy Gardner, who we haven't seen in the line yet. But trust me, that ain't gonna happen. But hopefully in the future, we do see a Guy Gardner release. And now this actually gets me into the number two big negative, and that is the price. I mean, $69.99. Oof. And I actually knew right away when I saw this that this was going to make a lot of collectors really unhappy. Now, we do know that the economy has basically been doing bad for the last 4 years. And although McFarlane did hold out for the first 3 years without basically raising his prices at all, we knew that this would more than likely be inevitable. These prices being not only not what we would wish they would be, but also not what we have become accustomed to from McFarlane. So, in the end, all I can really say is that you have a choice. Do you see enough value there to justify the price, or is it just not enough for you to pay $70? So, basically, if the value's not there, then you're not going to pick it up. But if you do want these figures, you will pull the trigger. As for me, where I would usually pick up two of these easily, I'm now going to be only purchasing one for the meanwhile, and hopefully see in the future if I could get it at a reduced price or maybe get a deal online. So, those are my thoughts on this set. It's up to you guys to spend your money the way you want to. Nobody can force you to buy anything, and you have all the right in the world to not purchase it. So let me know down below, but definitely keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.
They used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.